Hello, everyone. Hope you all are doing well, and welcome to our today's session with the global leader. And our today's guest, Nanami, she is from Japan, and she's going to share her journey as an entrepreneur and the skills she have gained so far by being involved with various activities. And before going to our session, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Mahbub. I'm volunteering as Director and Chief Marketing Officer of the School of Entrepreneurship Development. And the objective of our session is about to give a view about what people are doing around the world, how they are doing it, and how they have gained their skills by being involved in different activities. So let's start our session. Ranami, how are you doing?
Oh, great. Thank you.
And first of Yeah, I'm doing well. Although the situation here in Bangladesh is not so good right now, so we are in lockdown. So yeah, so far so good. And please, first of all, thank you so much for being here with us to sharing your journey on behalf of SAD. And can you please introduce yourself and your business with us?
Sure. So my name is Nanami Granger. I'm a founder of 80 Days Japan, which is a travel company located in Tokyo. Myself, I was born and grew up in Tokyo. I studied a little bit in the US, but I spent most of my life in Tokyo. So after graduated from my university, I joined a bank, which is completely different from current job. But throughout several companies, after joining several companies and learning lots of different things, I started my company in 2016. So yeah, that's a brief summary of myself.
Wonderful. From a banking career, you are now founder of a wonderful company. So, 80 Days Japan, what is it about? What does it do?
So 80 Days is well, to be simple, it's a travel company welcoming overseas customers to Japan. So our customers are mainly from all over the world, uh, except for Japanese residents. And then we create tours, we plan itineraries, working with travel agencies overseas. And we also operate tours themselves, providing a guide service, booking hotels, and also as well as transportation.
Wonderful. So, most of our audience, they are basically university students. So, can you take us back about your university? What did you study? And eh, did you involve with different activities that helped you to gain some experience?
Yes. So in my university, it's called KO University. My major was marketing, and other business related subjects. And when I was in school, college, I was part of lots of different associations. So I did volunteering in the US, helped homeless people affected by Hurricane Katrina. I don't know, maybe you most of the audience too young to know about it, but it was in 2006. The Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans in the US, and I joined a volunteering group to help people who were affected from that. Also, I was a part of American Marketing Association because my major was marketing, and we joined like a business competition in the US. Also, I was part of like a school events organization, which we called it. It's a festival in summer, like held by students. And then we are the organizer of the events. And lastly, I also did two internships in Japan. One is in an investment bank, and the other one was in a consulting company, which are quite popular at that time. Like popular jobs at that time, like back in 2007. So I just did whatever like which were popular and everybody wanted to do. So there was no specific reason for choosing the industries. But yeah, those are all what I did when I was in college.
So that's wonderful. Like you involved with different kinds of different various activities, with various organizations, volunteering. So, uh, which skills did you gain through the involvement? And what do you think about the importance of volunteering when people are in college and university?
Um, when you say about skills, it is really hard to say because I would say like two things I learned as as skills. So one is being able to make a illustration on Illustrator because I was an editor in the school festival, creating brochures. And the other one is I became like really good at making like a chart on spreadsheet, which both are very boring, but because in terms of skills, it's really hard to say what you gained, but I felt like the most important thing I gained from those activities were more like experiences I had, things can I can utilize as an experience when I faced like a similar situations when I was working. But it's really hard to say what kind of skill like I gained, but you can utilize it like as an experience to get over some problems or difficulties throughout your career or work. So yeah, I hope I'm answering the question, but
Yeah, the, you are. Uh, can you specifically share your experience? Like you were volunteering during the crisis or during the Katrina. It was a devastating situation, and during that crisis moment, uh, what was you involved in, and why did you volunteer during that time? What made you do so?
yeah, so it there is a story behind it. So it's kind of related to the association I joined called American Marketing Association. So we had an business competition, and the theme was New Orleans, because we the theme of the competition was to revitalize the area which was affected by a natural disaster. So we were working on it to create a business plan, like a marketing business plan, but I had no idea what New Orleans is like, and I had no idea how badly they were affected by the Katrina. So I decided to look for a chance to go down to to New Orleans to see how it is like to in order to make a proposal. And then finally I found the association to help people who were affected by Hurricane Katrina as a volunteer. So it was a great reason to help and learn about the place at the same time. So that was the reason I chose that association to join.
Excellent. Thanks for sharing. Um, what we see normally, people who are involved or who have involved or who was involved once in the life with volunteering or some community development works. Later on, most of them get involved with impact uh, full activities or work or company that are changing the society or their community in a positive way.
Mhm.
So you have a company or founder of a company. So what do you think that is there any way your company is creating a positive impact in your society or in your community, or how you're doing it?
Yeah, so the reason I founded the company is to revitalize countryside of Japan. I don't know how much you know about Japan, but maybe when you think about Japan, like you think of Tokyo or like, big cities with technology, maybe, advanced technologies and, lots of well-known brands like a Sony or whatever. But when you once you go step into like countryside of Japan, the situation is getting worse and worse because of the population decline. So we have more and more older people and having like less and less babies, like younger generations. So a lot of cities or towns are losing population and losing the power of economy. So that's why I try to look for a solution to solve problems like in countrysides by losing the economic power. So 80 days does send travelers to those areas and then make people experience like the rural culture of Japan. And of course, because they spend money in each small cities, we can make an impact in terms of economy. And also because they can interact with locals, they get the locals feel that they are, they retrieve their pride about their towns because travelers become like really happy about visiting their places, and the locals feel also happy about accepting new people and getting a great feedback from travelers. So that's what we are trying to do, and we believe that that's the impact on each local communities.
That's I can connect with your point. This is the absolutely a perfect point out you have shared with us. That's in so many countries, some foreign tourists, they have different kind of experiences, maybe good or bad. Uh, I had the experience because I showed around my close friends who are from abroad in a local way,
Mhm.
as they were my friends. So, when you wander around or see places with a local person, uh, the cost bear with it is so low because you have a local person. It seems like like $2 or $3 you can travel around places in Bangladesh. So many places by rickshaw and by foot. The thing is, you see, like that local person's eye is has it turns into their eyes, so they can see the places in like their the local person, and there are some ins and outs of what a local person can show them. So the thing is, this is very important, the thing you're doing, and the point you have mentioned, that showing them in a local perspective, uh, having that true intention in mind. Okay, so enjoy our country or our city through our eyes. So that's very important, that I can relate so well.
Yeah, great.
And the one point is, back in a few years back, the situation, there was some, like political clashes. The situation was bad, but I uh, took 6 to 7 of my friends to see the old Dhaka, the historical place. There are so many nice places there. During that strike, it was an amazing situation because if without me, they would never thought of being outside during that time. So the thing is, this is very important. I can relate. Oh, that's great to know. And tell us about the thing you said. Uh, did you have the plan before to start your own company, or what made you build your own company?
Yeah, so I had no idea what to do.
Yeah, just to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt. The reason for asking this question is, we try to thrive entrepreneurship in Bangladesh in an impactful way. So that's why the question. So you can share your influence or motivation to start your own company, and the problem or situations or difficulties you have faced so far, and how did you overcome those challenges?
Sure. I created when I created this company, I was in the midst of a social business competition, design competition. So at that time, I had no idea what we are going to, like which direction we are going to, and what kind of business we are going to do. But throughout the process of the competition, we found first we found problems of in countryside, as I said, and then we tried to find a good solution to solve the issues like in each local community. So and we found out that the team, uh, most of us were from different countries. Like a lot of them are not Japanese, so we knew that we knew the markets outside the country, and then we knew that's how travelers are behaving when they travel to Japan. So and then we just like came up with the idea to, well, let's start sending customers to those countryside areas to see how it works, like if this is effective or if it doesn't work. And then we came up with the conclusion that we can make an impact because we started seeing a lot of changes of locals. So one example was we chose one pottery studio in the local town, and then we sent customers to the studio. The artist never expected that he was gonna have customers, so the studio was a little bit messy, which wasn't kind of it looks
It
like a
is
very
totally rare. A Messi studio in Japan. It's so rare. No one would believe that.
yeah. So but it was not in the bad meaning, but
No,
it was
I'm just joking.
yeah. So but for the second time we sent customers, the studio looked really, really clean and nicely displayed. And then some customers actually bought some of his artwork. So um, that's one of the examples. But we started seeing a lot of changes, not only from travelers' sides, but from local sides. So that's the first thing, like we started experiences like seeing, and then that made us decide like to continue the business since 2016. So now it's, well, because of the COVID, it's kind of paused a little bit, but still we are carrying on the same things to revitalize those areas. Um, and regarding the difficulties we have, um, as as you said, it's not it's not expensive to go to countryside and do the experiences, but in Japan transportation costs a lot, unfortunately. So the difficult thing is we need to kind of convince travelers to visit unknown places that they never heard in their lives, or they never seen it even in the guidebook. So that's the difficult point, because it's not super cheap to visit those areas, uh, and then they just need to trust us, that they are going to have great experiences in their trip. So that's the difficult things, like we encountered. But now little by little we started getting like a feedback or reviews online, um, and our customers started saying, "Oh, this was a great place. Like everybody should go," and that made it more and more convincing now. So we are trying to get over that difficulty, but still, that's the most hardest points that we are facing now.
Oh, nicely shared. That's true. I mean, the situation and in, involved with travelers and tourists. But I think that because of the vaccination is here, so in future people will have somehow go and travel. Travelers and adventurers, they will not they will not stop traveling.
Mm.
So as you know, you have experience in different sectors. How do you think, like the food industrial revolution is coming, knocking at the door, and COVID, it just fueled the need for food industrial revolution and the importance and power of technology, uses of technology in our life has increased so far. The thing is, what do you think? Like, like students, how they should develop their skills to adapt themselves the future needs to if they want to be an entrepreneur in future, if they want to go for job, different kind of job. So what do you suggest to develop some kind of skills which is not common right now?
Um, which is not common right now.
So for example, like I'm a business graduate, but I never tried learning SQL or Java or Python or some kind of programming skills because it is going to be a must needed skill in near future, like for data analysis, who want to be data analyst. So these kind of skills in general that people are not that much familiar with,
Hmm.
so, but that is going to be needed in future. One or two that would be enough.
Okay. Yeah. I guess uh, implementing something when you think of the idea is the most important. I don't know if it's called skill, but it's quite important um, because everything is just moving so fast nowadays, as you know. Everything is changing, like technology is changing every second. So I in my generation, I graduated from my university like more than 10 years ago. So the situation was a bit different. Like what I had to do is to learn theories of business and to learn like something already developed. But when I think about myself, if I were a student now, like I think the most important thing is you just do it and then see what happens, because everything, like a lot of things are like quite free. You don't need to have a cost to do something. Like if you want to broadcast something like you learned or you experienced, you just go on YouTube and then get the feedback immediately from all your audience. um so yeah, just doing what you think it would work is the most important. um yeah, back in 10 years ago, I had to think before doing something, but I think things are changing. You have to do things like before thinking, maybe. So yeah, I guess that's the most important skill. And if I would say, more, what if you're if I was students and wait a minute, like I still need to learn something, like I need to have a a founder of a foundation of something, like when I want to become an entrepreneur. I would advise myself, if I had asked like in 10 years ago, I would say maybe accounting and law which you tend to ignore. Especially like as an entrepreneur, you have to do everything from scratch. And unless you have a lot of people already around you as a team and a lot of money from starts, you may not need to think about it. But most of the cases, like you have to do things like you even need to do make a copy of a document by yourself, or you need to write a letter by yourself, or from very small things to a big things like planning ahead, like for your future business. So in that case, accounting is very important. You have to, that's the very important point of view when you think about your business, like if it should go forward or if you should stop. Like unless you know accounting, you can't really judge like how's your business is doing, as well as law. Maybe laws are different from country by country, but it may be doing something illegal without knowing. So you really need to know well about it, and it helps you when you create the company. You always need to follow the corporate law, and then it tells you a lot, like how you design your association, how you make your company in terms of laws. So accounting and laws are also I guess important things to learn.
This is one of the most valuable advice we have received so far, and it's a very strategic point. And like say in the context of Bangladesh, so many entrepreneurs they don't have deep understanding about accounting, finance, and law. Which, most of the people, whatever their background is, like whatever they studied, science, business studies, or arts, law is a very important part. And because whenever you say a lawyer is a people think, oh my god, most people are afraid of them because the thing is, this is very simple. They know some terms, they know some, like law, they know something, they know some points. It's a word to word fight, you know. So the thing is, when people are very good at accounting and finance, which is very much needed for getting some investment, and if they want to expand for in near future, accounting and financial knowledge is important because it is to like calculate so many like profit or return or investment or marketing, some etc etc. And law is very important. The thing is that we are going to uh, uh, share with our audience or with our members in near future is to specifically learn some company laws. The thing that you mentioned, like that maybe I'm doing some kind of business by violating the laws and rules and regulations of my country, or maybe in somewhere else. We never know. So that's a very important thing and very important point. Thank you so much for mentioning this a very essential skill that an entrepreneur should uh, develop or have before doing their business. So
Yeah, especially like for small companies, like if you violate the law, like your company will blown away. So
yeah, that's true. That's so true.
yeah.
And our last question. No, before our last question, I want to uh, know one very important fact about you, which is like last year COVID came, and so many students, schools, college, and university students are heavily, and dangerously addicted to social medias. Uh, you see, so far I have seen in last few months, Facebook profile is so good, but Instagram it's so devastating. It's so dangerous because it's the class, the standard of the pictures. It's so bad because The thing is, it shows the mental disability of the users and of some of the students. So the thing is, how do you think about the misuse of social medias, and why is that? And uh, uh, from your perspective, what do you say? People who use uh, social medias a lot, they have the lack of concentration. They cannot focus on their study or any subject or anything, uh, and that actually decrease their efficiency. And what's your understanding about that? What's your point of view? Can you share with us about excessive and addictive uses of social medias?
Yeah, first of all, I think it's understandable because you get feedback like right away as soon as you write something, and then you can get connected with your friends, or even like people you never known before. So it is it is very interactive. So I understand that people get addicted to it. um but at the same time, well, due to the COVID, it's really hard. But I recommend you to travel. I'm not saying this because I'm from a travel company, but seeing something in real life, meeting somebody you've never known, uh, are quite important. Usually in social media, you just meet, well, most of the cases, like you meet somebody you already know or somebody in your like similar communities. So you can't really, see somebody from like a super very different, communities. But traveling will realize that. So you meet somebody like unexpectedly, and then I think it's more enjoyable, uh, and I think the happiness is more than just interacting with in digitally. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm very unhappy because I can't travel as well.
That's
Because
understandable.
yeah, so I think it is understandable the problem itself, and I get addicted sometimes. But in order to get out of your box, I think you need to see the real life. So yeah, that's what I can say now for that the issue.
Cool. That's amazing. And we're at the end of our session. And on behalf of School of Entrepreneurship Development, I would like to thank you for such an informative session and sharing with us very valuable insights from your life. And it's a very wonderful session. I believe, and we believe, our audience has enjoyed our session so much, and they have learned something new from our session. And have a good day.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, it was my pleasure to share my experience and hope it's helpful for the master audience. So yeah, thank you for your time.
So, yeah, you are welcome. And when the situation will be good, we will share with our audience and our community to travel to Japan. And
Yeah,
you're there.
yeah. I can recommend nice places. So yeah,
Yeah, that will be good. Yeah. So, okay, have a good day. Thank you. And our audience, please stay safe, stay well.
thank you.